Governor Parsons says his priorities range from education to public safety, and that's reflected in his budget. This boarded up space right here is actually the window that several of those children jumped out of to escape the fire. But one neighbor told me that that spot actually used to be a safe haven for these children. There are still people lined up to donate to the Voluntary Action Center, and volunteers are still out here collecting those donations. There are also volunteers inside packaging those, making sure everything's ready this holiday season. I'm not quite sure there's enough to make a snowman, but this powdery snow is packable enough for some snowballs, and if the snow isn't your thing, then there's plenty of salt to go around. While the home doesn't even have walls yet, it's already been sold. The Boone County Prosecutor's Office is charging Thomas Schultz with hazing, and this comes after a grand jury indicted 8 of the 11 former fraternity members on Friday. They've taken down most of the decorations. That's because Alford declared himself the winner of this race a little over an hour ago. Seeing these dispensers with coin slots might throw off some visitors, but they're actually unlocked, so the people can just go in and take the pads and tampons that they need for free. Demetra Williams says she was staying here at her daughter's apartment with 11 children when that fire broke out. And this family has already been through so much, with her husband going missing in October. And today, Williams told me how she tried to rescue each and every single one of those children, but wasn't able to get them all out safely.
I love them. I love my babies. And if I could, I would bring them back 1,000 times.
Demetra Williams was staying at her daughter's apartment alone with 11 children. She says she put the kids to bed around 9:30, but several hours later, she woke up to someone shouting fire.
I thought, it was like something small, so I went in the kitchen and tried to grab the fire extinguisher, but then as I was going up the steps, the fire was just right there.
She says that's when she yelled for the children to jump out the windows.
I was scared to jump out the window. I'm afraid of heights.
Williams says she then ran around the back of the complex to find other children still inside the townhouse.
I seen my daughter, Denise. She was sitting on the edge. She was too scared to jump, and she was just sitting there. So I grabbed her leg.
And that's when she heard her 7-year-old daughter, Janisha, screaming from the second floor.
And I begged her. I was like, baby, please just jump.
But she says Janisha was too scared to jump.
I kept telling her to jump and come to me. Then the screaming stopped.
Williams says she then ran back to the front of the house to check on everyone else, only to find out her granddaughter, 4-year-old Tanaya, didn't make it out either.
Then the fire department said they were side by side holding each other, but they faced down to the floor.
Tanaya's mother, Shania Pate, says she'll miss her only child and her little sister.
Somebody knew they all like to do TikTok, play around, be kids, have fun.
They are loved. They will be missed. They will.
Now, in the last half hour, I've seen more people bring balloons, stuffed animals, candles, because those girls are already missed. And some of those people say they don't even know this family, but this story breaks their heart. Now, that family does have a safe place to stay tonight, and the Red Cross is helping get the children clothing because they lost everything in this fire. In Columbia, Reyna Katko, KOMU 8 News. Caitlin Pludre, as shown here, is just one mother raising awareness about the Leanna Johnson's care for her children at the daycare here in Columbia. Johnson has provided child care out of various homes for years in Boone County, but she's not registered with the state as a regulated child care facility. For more than a year and a half, Caitlin Pludre sent her 2 children to Leanna Johnson at Little ABC Tigers here in Columbia.
Things were really great when she was on Prescott.
But in January, she noticed Johnson wasn't around as much.
We actually would go to pick up and there's no Leanna. When we go to drop off, there's no Leanna.
Pludre says she noticed more of Johnson's son watching over her young children. Then one night in March, she got a call.
And I ignored the phone call at first because I thought it was a scam. It's 8:30 at night. Who's going to call me that I don't know at 8:30 at night?
But that call was from the state, saying it was investigating the daycare.
When they did their investigation, they found 11 children upstairs.
According to the State Department of Elementary and Secondary Education, the maximum number of children allowed for an unlicensed daycare is 6. But for the Pludre family, the inspector's bad news didn't stop there.
She kept hearing a baby cry. And so after about 45 minutes, she got up, she started looking for this baby.
She says the inspector went down to the basement and found 3 more children under the age of 1.
She still hears the baby cry.
After continuing to search the unfinished basement, she finally found that unaccounted for baby.
And laying in the closet on a piece of carpet with no toys, no light, no love, nothing, crying for 45 minutes was my daughter.
Marin Pludre was less than 9 months old when that happened. Caitlin Pludre called Johnson the next morning, and while Johnson denied that that baby was Pludre's daughter,
No, it was a different baby, and we're dealing with it right now.
she did confirm the incident happened. The Pludres decided to immediately pull their children out of little ABC Tigers. That's when Johnson said she would give the Pludres a full refund of their daycare costs because they paid for the full year, and it was only March.
I will go to the bank and get a cashier's check and give it to you.
But the family says they've yet to see a single cent of that money.
The exact amount is $8,204.37.
And they're not alone. Several mothers told KOMU 8 that Johnson owes them money and has ignored their pleas. She says the moms have added it all up, and the total amount that Johnson owes the group is more than $10,000. While they may never see their money again, the mothers are raising awareness in Facebook groups about little ABC Tigers, and some of the mothers say they've received threats from Johnson for speaking out. I reached out to Johnson several times over the past few days for comment, but never heard back. In the studio, Reyna Katko, KOMU 8 News. They say one man's trash is another man's treasure. But what if the original owner of this $1,000 bill didn't consider it to be trash at all?
Somebody thought it had value or they wouldn't have it in their lockbox.
Yes!
George Tutt is attending the auction in hopes of finding jewelry identical to what his late wife owned.
My wife passed several years ago, and I don't know where any of her jewelry is.
While it's not her original version, he hopes to buy the auctioned ring and pass it down as a family heirloom.
Well, it's a gold wedding ring set, but it's probably going to bring more than I'm willing to pay.
We actually had a cigarette case sell for $4,200 earlier. It was solid gold.
The auction has more than 2,300 items, ranging from baseball cards to this $1,000 bill.
We hate to sell these items, but we have to have space to have the new stuff coming in.
1 in 10 Missourians have unclaimed property, which is how items like this family charm end up at auctions like this.
We've tried to find them, haven't been able to, so we're selling the items off.
And while the original owners may not get their items back,
It never becomes a property of the state. It's always there for the owner, the heirs to claim.
every item sold is credited to the original owner's account.
Our average claim's around $300.
So these items bring a little green to their original owner's pocket
$10 on it, $10.
and a little joy to their new owner. The auction will continue right here tomorrow at the Garden Conference Center, and they'll be auctioning off items of coins and currency like this from Israel in Columbia. Reyna Katko, KOMU 8 News.
Can you spell redemption? One Columbia 6th grader won the regional spelling bee this spring after her sisters won 2 years in a row. KOMU 8's Reyna Katko shows us how the Shetty family is helping her keep up the legacy.
Fronders. F-R-O-N-D-E-U-R-S. Fronders.
It only took 11-year-old Anya Shetty 6 letters to spell victory at the regional spelling bee.
G-Y-P-S-T-U-M. Gypsum!
It's the 3rd year in a row a Shetty sister has taken home the title of top speller in the region. Last year, Anya came in 2nd place behind her older sister, Gia.
I think it meant a lot for Anya to win this year because she's not the oldest in the competition. That's also a lot of pressure.
Gauntlet.
Anya says Gia is the reason she's interested in spelling bees.
Yitcha.
But that's not where their talents end. Their mother says her girls are busy bees.
Whatever opportunity they get, they try to do their best in that.
These overlapping interests make for some friendly competition.
Yeah, I'm in 6th grade, and Gia won in 7th grade. That's kind of what matters here. I beat Gia.
I think that we're kind of pushing each other to be better.
And while they have similar hobbies,
for Anya, she's more playful.
Gia adapts to help her sister study for the National Spelling Bee.
I think because she's more experienced in this and she knows a few more words, I feel like she can help me out in that.
And while they have a legacy to uphold,
in whatever they do, whether they make it or not, we still are proud of their effort they put towards it.
competing is about more than just trophies for this family.
It's more of a learning experience for them.
I like feeling pride in myself whenever I win stuff.
No matter how you spell it, for these sisters, family always comes in first place. Reyna Katko, KOMU 8 News, Columbia.